What we call Maya right now is a huge umbrella that covers tons of different lineages of knowledge. You know, there are 21 Maya languages, ethno-linguistic groups, just in Guatemala. But within each linguistic group, there are lineages of knowledge. So you cannot get a teacher that will teach you all Maya knowledge. There are specialties. Don Simeon, who is one of the greatest teachers I had, always used to say, if you follow the Maya path, it would only make you be better at who you are. So if you're a Buddhist, it will make you a better Buddhist. No matter who you are, where you come from, the Maya world is not a religion, it's a way of living.
Shortcuts to spirituality, they don't exist. You can take mushrooms, you can take ayahuasca, you can take LSD or whatever you want. There are thousands of new things now. They are sniffing angel's powder or something like that. Of course, you will touch something, you know. But when you come back, are you going to be a saint? Or are you going to be a huge connection? No, you will be the same person. The same person. But if you really walk the real path through spirituality, you will grow every day, and each day you will be a better person and a better person and a better person. And let's love each other, you know? Let's love each other. That's the way.
Cuando te pregunto cómo estás, digo, Utsawach. ¿Y eso qué significa, verdad? Te estoy diciendo, si estás viendo bien, si estás clara en dónde estás, si estás viendo tu camino, ¿verdad? Si estás caminando conscientemente, sabes que estás aquí, ¿no? Eso significaría un saludo, ¿verdad? En nuestro idioma chiquel, Utsawach.
Plants are only as strong as their root system. We all need our roots. We all need to understand where we came from. We all need to understand how our fathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, how they worked with the place, how they coexisted in this world. And our ancestors have set down patterns, our ancestors have set down sets of wisdom to guide us through that. Unfortunately, some of that wisdom has been seen as out of date, irrelevant. Oh, that's what the old people do. We don't need that anymore. And as we've gone through that cycle, our society has started to fall apart. Yes, a lot has been lost, but not everything.
Coexistence, harmony, and respect, and the three join to form balance. Coexistence, for example, he would explain, is about learning what our gifts are, to see how our roles fit in society to make the whole greater than the parts. He was saying how you want that medicine to work for what you have. Think about what the plant is giving to you. The plant has a life force. I blessed it before I cut it. I asked it permission. I blessed it before I turned it into medicine. I blessed it before I gave it to you. And so the vital force and the consciousness of healing of that plant is vibrating, and the plant is giving you a gift. And she's giving her life happily so that your body can remember that vibration the plant has, so that it can again vibrate to that consciousness. She has a role, or it has a role, the plant. You have a role, and each element, and me, at producing the medicine, I had a role, and I am coexisting in the same time space to make this happen. But I could have just gone to the forest and take all the plants at once, because I need the medicine. But I would be unaware that the plants need to reproduce again. So I can only take a small amount, that they are enough that they reproduce again.
If we were going to build a house, you don't just go and cut the trees down and then build your house like you would in many parts of the world. It was always done very ceremonially. You had to ask permission if you wanted to clear a space, or you make a ceremony before you build a new house.
He also talked about the concept of harmony, and you would say that's the same as coexistence. We translate it as harmony because there's no real translation. So harmony would be the way you internalize that which you have been shown. And harmony is always first lived inside of you, and only when it's really inside, it can expand like waves. So you cannot cause something to be harmonious if you yourself are not in harmony. And harmony was a way to say, when everybody has understood their role, you are completely integrated into your being, and you do not wish to be that plant. You do not wish to be that person, because you are completely aware of who you are and the perfection of who you are. And from that awareness that your configuration is perfect, the family that you were given, no matter how odd it looks to you, how painful it seemed to be growing up in that family, it was perfect, for it made you who you are. And then you integrate all the experiences into who you are, and you internalize it, and you are whole within yourself with all your set of experiences. And then you can vibrate. You live now fully integrated. Then you are vibrating in harmony, and you can be the perfect chord that you were meant to be. So you play your tune, your tone, beautifully. And that tone played in awareness of who you are with all the other tones played in awareness creates the most beautiful, harmonious melody and concert. So harmony begins from yourself, but then it gets applied to everything outside of you. And then the third concept is respect. So respect comes with the acceptance that, you respect yourself and you respect others around you and their choices without judgment, which is the hardest part. As soon as you judge, you separate yourself from the whole, because she's mean. Oh, I'm not mean. I'm not one with her. He's cute. Oh, I'm cute. I am one with him. And we continue to play this game of apparently separating ourselves from the whole. And in that, it's a way of forgetting that we owe the respect to everything around us.
Todos estamos dando la luz al mundo. Los humanos tenemos una cultura, nos parece que en el mundo hay muchas tradiciones con el alimento, con la ropa, con el tiempo, con los ciclos del verano, invierno, todo eso. El mundo se manifiesta de diferentes. Todo eso es un sentimiento que tenemos los seres humanos. Expresamos, es un agradecimiento, es una manera de sentir que la humanidad tiene una cultura con diferentes, como de un solo hilo, como vemos un hilo, está enrollado y se dispersa. Todos venimos de una misma raíz y vamos a un mismo fin, al mismo destino. Entonces,
a very wise teacher I had, a Maiad teacher, Ingleberto, he loved mathematics. He really knew the calendar. And he would say, you people have this concept called fractals, right? And I was like, yes, fractals. So that's why what we say, like it is below is above, like it is within is outside. It's the same concept of fractals. Patterns repeat themselves forever. And you are a pattern. Your cells vibrate to a pattern. So if you have health in your body and you learn how to keep your body in balance, you learn how to keep your mind in balance, your feelings in balance, and your energy in balance, your relationship to the creation in balance, you then become a fractal of your community. And your community is a fractal of the larger country, and the country of the planet, and the planet of the solar system, and the system of the cosmos, and it goes like that. So you have to be responsible for keeping yourself in balance, because then you become the right kind of fractal for humanity. Most of the Westerners understand the human body from the perspective of matter, the cell, the hormone, the chemical compound that you can trace as a physical aspect. Maya medicine works from the energy aspect, For medicine to work, you need to learn about the models of who the human is in this world and how we relate to everything else. So in Maya medicine, well-being or health is a balance of these four aspects of body, spirit, mind, and feelings. And in keeping the balance in these four is where you have health.
What a Mayan spiritual guide is somebody that touched your soul in different ways, like connecting with the tree with my left hand and giving you my right hand and passing the energy. I'm just a channel, a link in between the energy of the Mother Earth and the person that wants to be guided. It's like Reiki, when you do Reiki and things like that, you know? It's the same. We connect with Mother Earth and we try to help them. They come to us asking for, you say sickness, okay? We call them imbalances. When they have an imbalance in their bodies, they come to us and then we help them with plants. But we don't cure. We are connections. We are advisors. People heal themselves if they follow the advice.
In Mayan medicine, you're made responsible from the start. And I remember a lot of the Western doctors criticizing this because they said, you realize that if this doesn't work, the patient's going to become a victim. He's going to really affect himself psychologically because he didn't make it. And the healers were like, and you think the opposite works? Disempowering him completely. And so then the person is made to be aware of his or her surrounding. He has to acknowledge family, community, and the larger space where he dwells, the community, nature, and the creation, and the creator. So he is made aware of a continuum of his life connected with everything else. And that's why well-being is as much an emotional well-being as a physical one. And one beautiful thing I love about Maya medicine, which was the hardest to grasp for the European partners, was that the oncologists would say, well, we read, 100 books to be able to just learn about this. And the elders would say, yeah, well, we don't use books. It's oral. But that's only a percentage. We connect to the Universal Library.
A mis 13 años empecé a tener muchas señales en el cuerpo y empecé a recibir mensajes a través de los sueños con los abuelos y las abuelas, y yo les decía, ayúdenme a encontrar el camino y sean ustedes los que me guíen para hacer lo que quieran que yo haga en la tierra, pero no me guíen por el camino oscuro. Y fue así como a través de ellos me guiaron, porque a través de los sueños me enviaron a 20 lugares sagrados, lugares que yo no conocía. Completé las 20 ceremonias, conocí los 20 lugares sagrados y al final, bueno, ¿ahora qué? Ya terminé. Y recuerdo que un día yo así como alegándome con alguien, yo decía, ¿cómo? ¿Y ahora qué me van a dar? Pues ya terminé todo, ¿y qué voy a hacer ahora? ¿Cuál es la ganancia de esto que yo hice? ¿Verdad? Entonces me enviaron mi primer paciente, que ahora el joven está en Canadá y tiene 22 años. Entonces le dije a la señora, su bebé tiene una gran infección intestinal. Y entonces me dice, pero si eso me dijo el médico, pero no mejoró con el tratamiento. Pero ahora va a mejorar su bebé. ¿Y qué le voy a dar? Entonces dije yo, ¿y ahora qué le voy a decir? Entonces ayúdenme, ¿qué le voy a decir? Entonces ahí donde me empezaron a ayudar ellos con la medicina. Entonces ya le dije a la señora, mire, me va a preparar un té de hierbabuena, de bismuto, y le va a echar naranja agria Y yo estaba diciendo como que yo conocía todo, ¿verdad? Y la señora me dice, bueno, y con eso su bebé va a estar bien. Bueno, y la señora se fue. Me dice, a los 4 días yo quiero ver cómo está su bebé. A los 4 días regresó la señora con el bebé. Ya me dice, ya está comiendo, ya está bien, mira cómo está mi niño. Y me llevaba un canasto así, porque me dice, ¿cuánto me vas a cobrar? Y yo dije, ¿y ahora qué voy a decir? ¿Cuánto voy a cobrar? Y entonces alguien aquí me dice, tú no tienes que cobrar. ¿Pero qué voy a decir? Solo tienes que decir que lo que los abuelos y Dios le pongan en su corazón, ¿verdad? Y de ese niño que empecé a tratar, fue como se enteraron en todos varios lugares, y es así como vienen personas de diferentes lugares, ¿verdad? Eso es parte, porque para serles sincera, tampoco es todo lo que viví, lo que acaba de comentar, es una parte de mi proceso espiritual, y hasta el momento es lo que estoy haciendo ahora, trabajar con las plantas.
He would say that a healer that is trained learns to go within. Meditation, sleep, each person has different gifts. But the point they were all trying to make is that the largest amount of knowledge is within, because you carry in your, we would call it DNA, the knowledge of all your ancestors. And they call it, well, Don Simeon would call it the universal library. Others would call it the wisdom of the Creator. The point is that all the knowledge that ever existed about every plant in the planet and healing is stored energetically in this place. And if you meditate, you can go there.
Sabemos que hay negativo y positivo, pero detrás de todo eso hay guardianes energéticos que nos protegen. Y esas energías es importante saber para ver por dónde caminamos. Las plantas viven como el ser humano. Las plantas hay hombre y mujer, ¿verdad? Si yo voy a tratar a un varón, yo tengo que buscar una energía femenina, ¿sí? Una planta que es femenina. ¿Por qué? No solo por las propiedades, sino energéticamente va a funcionar en un varón.
They prefer now to get healed with a little capsule that they take every day, and they will just relieve the symptoms, that to take that plant for 3 months, every day at the same time, because it takes longer. Now with the technology, you see that in the movies, that they cut themselves and the power of the energy in seconds heals. Same thing happened to us, but it takes time. You are now surrounded by the big pharmacy. Here you find different kind of trees and plants everywhere. Walking, you find some plants that will help to you to rebalance, to give a balance again to your liver, to your gallbladder, to your blood system, to blood pressure, even to your thoughts.
Because I lived in an indigenous community and there was many other trained guides in the area that I lived, I was lucky because I had local access to learn with them. But the process is slow. You can't just dive in and say, I want to do this today, and then pay your money and go. You need to build a relationship with people. They need to trust you, because they don't just pass on their knowledge to anybody just because they pay a fee.
In my learning phase, in my cleansing phase, I would be going up and receiving teachings from Don Rigoberto. But there's another type of teaching that happens, and it's the teaching that comes from the fire. It's the teaching that comes from sitting with your bara, making the prayers, making the fire, making the ceremonies. And this teaching is something very different. It's a teaching that comes to you through dreams. It's a teaching that comes through intuition. It's a teaching that comes through understanding, and it's a teaching that comes through being around the fire.
In the Mayan tradition, the women give birth in the tuch, Betuch's like it's like a sauna. It's like a temazcal. So they heat up the vapor in they make like a, not always an igloo, but like in most Mayan houses traditionally they had the sauna in there, and then obviously because of the pain of giving birth, we have water births in our culture, but they would go into the sauna, and so it's like going back into the womb, you know, because you go into a small space and there's heat in there and there's warmth, and the midwife has many traditions where as the child's come in and the woman has her legs open, they blow into the womb, and the vapor that's in there heats the area before the child comes, and so they have very beautiful traditions, and still now in the village that's the way that the women would go and give birth.
Cosmovision means the understanding of the cosmos. It's not the vision, the image you have of the cosmos. It's the understanding of the cosmos. You know, one point takes you to other point. A point is the beginning of a line. And understanding cosmos, it means that you have to understand yourself first, that you are part of something bigger than you. And we all walk together, we all vibrate together. The solar system goes around from the womb of the galaxy back to the same point in 26,000 years. They knew that. How you can know that if you don't know numbers and mathematics? Equations. It's amazing. They were masters in astronomy, in mathematics, in architecture. They were incredible builders. You know, how they move all those huge, massive stones. They knew about how to bring water to different places.
They claim they can cure cancer, they claim they can cure chronic disease, and evidence sort of shows that a lot of these Maya communities that are really isolated in the rainforest or wherever in the country, with no access to official healthcare, they're alive. And a lot of the diseases are being solved by traditional medicine. So maybe there's something that we can learn.
When we took the decision to leave the Gregorian calendar behind and just follow the Mayan calendar, and for every day to be the Mayan day, and to follow the Mayan celebrations, and to follow the days of the 13, and to follow the days of our own Nahuales and things, life changed completely. It's hard to explain how it would happen because it's amazing. You know, we have this structure of life that we believe we have to follow, and when you change that, everything changes around you.
We come from 1 to 13 because we have 13 main joints. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. That's a sacred number for us. 20. Why 20? Why your months have 20 days? 5, 10, 15, 20. Many different calendars, but we work with 2. The Av, 360 days plus 5, that is the time of no time. And the Cholkij, that is 260 days, that is the cycle that a woman needs to create a life. The pregnancy, 260, is the 9 months, the calendar of 9 months.
So when we use the calendar, we have the ability to understand the flow of energy through time. We have the energy and understanding to see how things work. And when we see how things work, we can understand why they might not be working properly and how to fix them. That's what the calendar, the sacred calendar, is used for in particular. And so if we get somebody who comes to us that maybe they want to get a reading with us, a reading through the Mayan calendar, which we call it Mayan astrology. It's from their date of birth, we work out what Nahual they carry. And when we understand what nawal they carry, we can understand what their mission is. When we understand what their mission is, we can understand whether they're fulfilling their mission or not. We can understand whether they might have fallen into one of the challenges of their mission. We can understand whether maybe they've just gone off track completely. And this can be a big thing in people's lives. Our society has programmed us in one way or another to accept a set of ideals, to accept that this is where we should be aiming in life, that these particular careers are the careers that pay and we should be studying to go towards these things. And it's great when people are able to exercise their individuality and really understand what is their true calling.
Today the world makes us believe that our worth is in what we do and what we have, and how many books we published, if you're an academic, or papers you published, or how successful your business is. You name it, depending on your activity, we allocate value in how the world tells us we should be valued. And what I see the Maya wisdom is reminding the world is that as we project our self-worth to what others say, we lose the meaning of who we really are in relation to who everyone else is. The Maya wisdom reminds us that we are unique and valuable. We come from the stars in the sense that we are made of the same particles as the supernovas and the pulsars. And that ancient, beautiful, pulsating energy of being alive is within, in each one of our cells.
One of the abuelas has said that when an elder dies, it's like losing the equivalent of the Great Library of Alexandria. The elders have so much knowledge, they have so much wisdom, they have so much understanding of the healing rituals, of the cleansing rituals, of the prosperity rituals, of all of these things. And Guatemala has been through a very turbulent time. There has been 500 years in total of suppression of this indigenous culture. If the Spanish conquest wasn't enough, the genocide that happened during the Guatemalan Civil War was huge. There was also something else which happened during that time, which was a new type of church arriving. Well, there's a story of a priest over in Santiago called Stanley Rother. And Stanley Rother came from Oklahoma. He was a great friend to the people of Santiago. He ran a feeding scheme, a soup kitchen, which one of my friends says she probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the food that came from his soup kitchen. He learnt Tzutehil to give mass in Tzutehil, and his scarf has some Mayan designs mixed in with the Catholic designs. He really was a friend to the people, and the army killed him. And so this, where you think that the churches are the holy sanctuaries, where there's safety, this went out the window during the Guatemalan Civil War. The Catholic churches were no longer the sanctuary that they had been before. Were evangelical churches, which had spread down from the USA, which were right-wing and rather in sympathy with, let's say, the government's side on the Civil War. These became the safe places. And those churches are very strict with what they say with regards to what people are allowed to do and what people aren't allowed to do. One of the things that has to be understood is that before 1996, before the peace accords were signed, it was actually a very dangerous thing to be making ceremony anywhere. So in some ways, we're looking at a very young culture. We're looking at a culture which is 22 years old of being able to make ceremony freely without the police or the military coming in and taking you away. Now, as a foreigner, I'm probably not going to get taken away. I don't run that same risk. But it's taken a while for the culture to be able to become available. And this is what we're seeing now. We're seeing people from Guatemala City in particular who are really taking an interest. We're seeing a growth. We're seeing people deciding to take their bara. It's slow at the moment, but the young people are starting to take it up, one by one, as we see in particular in San Marcos La Laguna, where we see the new future coming through. 4 young daykeepers, all in their 20s, that have recently been initiated. The first one to be initiated was the first initiation in 35 years in that village. So yes, there is a shift. Yes, people are starting to embrace it again. People are understanding that to work with the energy of this land, you need to understand the energy of this land. And a template has been given to us.
I feel very at home here. I love this. This is the land of smiles. This is the land of colours. This is the land of the most wonderful people in the world. And I've lived in 5 continents of the world, and for me, Guatemala is the heart of this world. And we all know this. They get us in there early, and they teach us logic, they teach us to analyse, they teach us to think, they teach us to do it. But they don't teach us about this. But for me, this country is about this. This country is about the heart.
When we make ceremonies, we make them in the language of our heart. I'm sometimes in ceremonies with Cachiquel people, with Quichean people, with Guatemalan people. And for me, understanding Spanish is fine now. Understanding Quichean or understanding Cachiquel, I pick up a few words here or there. But when I was learning, I had no idea about Quichean. I was listening to all these prayers, all this beautiful melody of words flowing from my teacher's mouth in a language that I didn't understand. And there's a learning there. And it's a learning to listen with your heart, to allow the words to just be, not to try to analyze them, not to try to be frustrated about what's going on because you don't understand with your conscious mind. All of the words carry a vibration, and that vibration is the essence of the prayer. That vibration is the essence of what's coming from your teacher, from the ceremonialists. This is another learning that we have to understand.
Nuestros primeros ancestros, los mayas, así es cuando se expresaron, hacen el fuego, queman el copal, el incienso, el romero, elementos muy naturales como el cacao, todo es un conjunto de ofrendas. Bueno, después, posteriormente, se usó las candelas, las velas blancas y amarillas, y el chocolate, el azúcar, y cotidianamente la ceremonia. Como pueden ver ustedes acá, estas piedras, toda la expresión es el símbolo de la madre tierra. El azteca es el símbolo de la casa, donde se pone la ofrenda. Entonces acá ve ustedes lo negro, la ceniza. Aquí se ve, esta ceniza que ustedes ven es el resultado, la expresión de las peticiones que uno hace. Porque el color negro surge la claridad del anochecer, viene la claridad, y la claridad surge también la oscuridad. Todos son 2 colores que se manifiestan en la vida del ser humano. En la noche tenemos se desarrolla nuestro pensamiento, y en la claridad lo ejecutamos en el día. Pienso en una cosa, el amanecer, en la noche, y hago las actividades en el día. Entonces, en la representación, esperamos que se interprete lo negro, no es negativo, es parte de la vida del ser humano.
Fire is the connection with the universe, because we are invoking the energies of Mother Earth. When we point to the 4 cardinal points, we invoke the energies from there. When we plant our intention, we are planting like the little seeds we share with the fire. If you think about it, you can create it. Like I said, the energy of the universe gives you the power to dream and the power to make your dreams into reality.
We have the fire as the toch. We call it toch. Means offering. It means here. Toch means to hear. So this is the ear of God, ear of the universe. When you speak to the fire sometimes to give you a message and do movements.
Of course, there are always going to be some people who question what you're doing there, who question, who's this guy? Where did he come from? He doesn't look like he's from the village. And this is where our hearts get weighed. This is where our words get weighed. This is where our actions get weighed. Yes, sometimes I do feel that I have to prove myself, and I'm delighted to do so every time, because I know what the answer is. I've seen it enough times that by the end of the ceremony, everybody is acting as one. Everybody's energy is integrated, and it doesn't matter about your birthplace or what color your skin is or what passport you carry. When you work with your heart in ceremony, all our hearts are the same color.
But because the Oslahuch Baktun was coming, this big, long count of a cycle was coming to a restart, to a new cycle, a new sun, beginning on December on 2012. The elders had been receiving messages that the time to begin to build these bridges, to share with the world the knowledge that they had been guarding and that had been protecting for so long, was ready to be slowly, and they said riego por goteo in Spanish, so drop irrigation, ready to be given to the world. And so a bunch of elders that had been my teachers were really open to engage in a dialogue at equal footing with representatives of the Western modern world and science. Kekchi elder in Petén, he died 1 week after we interviewed him. He knew more than 800 plants, medicinal plants, just to give you an idea. And he said, one day, I would like to see the big councils, the big houses of the councils, yet again built like in the old times, where we would gather our students and teach, where we would have the seeds of our medicinal plants so that they could learn. He was concerned that the forest was being destroyed in Petén, in that area where he lived. He used to say that before, in 20 minutes walking into the forest, he could find all the plants he needed, and now he needed to take almost a day trip to be able to get the plants. And he said, we really urgently need to collect all this knowledge and safeguard it, because the forest is being destroyed beyond what we can control. And if we at least can keep our seeds somewhere safe, we can reproduce them and teach our youngsters how to use it. The prophecies had said that after the Oslahuch Baktun, it's time for the roots to again sprout. And he used to comment on the Popol Vuh. He said that the trunk was cut of the Maya people, but the roots remained, and it's now time for the tree to sprout. And he cited this paragraph in the Popol Vuh to say, the bridge people that are coming from all over the world will be the ones that will help us awaken to build the spaces where knowledge can once again be shared with the world.
I see a resurgence, I see a growth coming. We've gone out of a loss cycle and into a growth cycle. Maybe that's post-2012 as well. Maybe that was what needed to happen, because there was a great wake-up that happened. And that's a wake-up within this culture as much as any other culture. That's a wake-up to understand that the only way to go forward is to reconnect with the past. The only way to truly grow strong is to reconnect with our roots. And so the traditions that teach us how to grow that, how to connect with our roots, in whatever form it might take, whether it's yoga or Reiki or Celtic shamanism or Mayan shamanic practice, it really doesn't matter. All of these things are keys which help us to understand how to connect with the natural world.
To talk with God, you just need to close your eyes and to focus in the energy inside of you and say, thanks. Thanks. That's simple. Spirituality is really simple. We don't need to walk from here to Tibet to be spiritual. We don't need to punish ourselves with a belt, We don't need to to do those things, we just need to be honest with ourselves and to close our eyes more often, saying thanks. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for everything.
We kind of think that we're actors on a stage, actors in a set or something like that. But what we actually are is within an interactive set, a set where the flowers, the trees, the rocks, the sky, the sun interacts with us should we choose for it to do so. And we can understand how to do that through using the ceremonies, through using the calendar. This is where we have our interaction. This is where our world becomes alive and we understand how we can truly work and be within it. We become part of our landscape rather than detached from our landscape. And when we reroute like that, when we reconnect like that, our life begins to take on more meaning because we can understand where we fit into the great scheme of things. We can understand how to work within that world in order to fulfill our path in a more beneficial and usually smoother and in more enjoyable way.
Existing here is a gift, and we have forgotten. We have disconnected ourselves from the rest. There are so few of us that would say that you can cry with a river, or that you can smile with a mountain, or that you can understand the wink in the cat, or that you can relate to the suffering of your neighbor. The Maya wisdom reconnects us to ourselves first, within, to the core of light that we are. In immense humility, because we are a spark within a huge fire, but each spark is so valuable. And it reminds us to coexist in harmony and respectfully. And it reminds us that all healing comes from within. The most amazing thing about Maya medicine really is that when you're done, you realize you healed yourself. And the plants and the healer were just instruments, because no one can heal you from outside, only we, from our awareness of that connectivity with everything else around us. And I'm not talking just in Mother Earth, and I'm talking very tangible ways of connecting with each other and being mindful that everything that comes out of us comes back to us. That is the Maya way of living.